Hello and welcome back to another O2 GT kit ranking video. As I did last year, we're going to be taking a look at the new MLS kits for the 2024 season. So it's going to mixture of away and home shirts. You know, that's the way the MLS do it for some reason. Not sure why. Let's just get stuck into it, shall we? I'm wearing my beautiful Seattle Sounders away shirt from last year. It's got a lovely design on it, commemorating Bruce Lee. And honestly, it does look good. The MLS... they mostly know how to make a good kit, so yeah, I'm very happy with this. But we're going to move on, we're going to jump straight into it. And in 29th place, yes, there are 29 teams in the MLS. In 29th place with the worst kit this season, I've gone with Houston Dynamo. This is the still holding kit from Houston Dynamo, which is meant to represent the creativity and hustler mentality that defines every Houstonian. I'm not from Houston, so I don't know if that's true, but to me, this is just a plain purple shirt with some orange detailing. Really just a boring shirt. But the jock tag is a nice touch though, and that is something I'd like to mention. A lot of MLS kits have this cool jock tag design, which is something I wish was brought over to Europe in Premier League kits, but you know, it's neither here nor there. It's just a cool little feature they have on their shirt, on their kits. Okay, and we move on to 28th place. And I've got Toronto FC. It's another poor kit from Toronto, and this time it's their GTA kit. No, that doesn't stand for Grand Theft Auto, as cool as that would be, you know, a little GTA 6 tie-in. It actually stands for Global Toronto Area, which is a lot less exciting, and quite frankly, don't know what it means. It features a new badge for some reason, but just looks bland against their main one. However, luckily it is a secondary one, so we're not going to see that take over their current badge, which I think is a good thing. It's an interesting move. It's not really like a classic Toronto badge as far as I'm aware, so they just created a new badge for the fun of it, really. There is a subtle badge pattern across the front of the shirt, but that can't save it for me. Another boring kit. Then in 27th place, we have FC Dallas. Now this one is not boring. It just looks awful. Offensive to the eyes, really.
My eyes are bleached. Get that away from me.
This is the so-called Afterburner kit, which is said to be inspired by the explosive energy and heat that Dallas can generate with the fans behind them. Whatever it represents, it still looks bad. It features a striped gradient that changes from blue to red. Now, while there is an even split between the two colours, the shirt itself still doesn't look great. The sponsor as well, while it is for a great cause, just doesn't look great either. This is a very poor shirt from FC Dallas. And then move on to the 26th place and New England Revolution. Huzzah! New England Revolution have produced this thing. It is the Boston Tea Party kit. So I'll let you guess what the design is inspired by. Yes, if you somehow guessed that the red and white dots were there to represent the effect of tea crates being thrown into the harbour, you'd be correct. And I'd ask for you to get your head checked, because I don't know how you'd get that from this design, but here we are. But they didn't only go for one meaning, no, they went for two, as it also represents the ripple effect that the Boston Tea Party had on American history. You guys are really getting all that from this shirt? Really? And to make things worse, or more embarrassing, they did this at one of their home games. I guess they are living up to the revolution part of their name, creating a revolutionarily bad kit. Christ almighty, guys, come on. And then we move on to 25th place and Nashville SC. Nashville. What is this? Personally, I enjoyed the home shirt they were wearing last season, and personally, I think this is a downgrade. This is the 615 kit, which is a tribute to their home of Nashville. Now this shirt is mostly yellow with a navy stripe across the chest, which I'm just not a fan of. The rest of the shirt is quite plain, which also docks at some points. They did something cool for the opening game though. They designed 35 neighborhood and Middle Tennessee specific jersey patches in partnership with a local artist. These patches represent the homes of 84% of Nationals season ticket members, which is a very cool touch for what is ultimately quite a bad kit. But it's a nice idea, and I rate it, to be honest. And then we move on to 24th place, I believe, and New York City FC. New York City have released their 24/7 kit, which is a throwback to their first ever away kit from 2015. It's called the 24/7 kit as a tribute to New York's non-stop hustle, vibrant nightlife, and dynamic energy. And with the sky blue and orange accents, the kit does that well, I think. It represents neon lights. It's pretty decent, you know. Those fluorescent colours look pretty good. It features a half and half design with the left side being blue while the right is orange. Other than that though, the shirt is very plain and the half and half design doesn't really save it. It is just a black shirt at the end of the day with some differing coloured sleeves, really. Well, stripes. A nice idea, but terrible execution. And then we move on to the 23rd kit, and that is Atlanta United. So Atlanta United went from a decent away kit to this monstrosity. This is the Resurgence kit, commemorating the history of Atlanta, referencing the city's founding in 1847 and its rebuild from the ashes in 1865. That is in part where the phoenix graphic that adorns the front of the shirt comes from, as it also appears on the seal of the city. The ideas behind the design of the shirt are great. You know, a phoenix on a shirt could work really well. If it was done like the Napoli collab from a few years ago, it could look a lot better. But yeah, I just think they failed when it came to the execution of the design. The ideas are great. The shirt could have been done better. They move on to 22nd place and LA Galaxy. This is a massive downgrade from LA Galaxy here. This is the Angelino kit, or the Angelino. It's one of them, and it marks a return to the diagonal stripes that have adorned many a Galaxy shirt before, but with a unique take on it. Opting not to bring back the navy sash, they instead used negative space to create the sash shape. It was created in response to fans' desire to see that iconic sash return, but once again, I think they failed in their execution of the design. Also, a distinct lack of stars for me. I remember last year I was raving about the lovely use of stars on the LA Galaxy home shirts, and this year they've got rid of most of them. Why? And then we move into 21st place, and I've got FC Cincinnati. This is Cincinnati's canvas kit, and it's okay. This is a largely plain shirt, which is why it hasn't found itself any higher, but those cuff, paneling and neck designs are just wonderful. Now, said designs are unique to each shirt, and alongside the Make Your Mark jock tag, it symbolises creative freedom and establishing your individual impact alongside connection with the community. And I think that the uniqueness of each design serves that purpose. Other than that gimmick, it is a very plain shirt, and the unique designs are not enough to save it from me. Okay, and coming in at 20th place, I've got CF Montreal. Everyone, let's congratulate Montreal on finally settling on a badge design. Well done, lads. I know it's hard to do, but you've finally done it, so bravo. This is their La Main shirt, the club's first ever light blue away shirt. The main design element of this shirt is the blue zigzag design that runs across the Montreal badge, but as far as I can tell, the design doesn't really represent anything specific. The other design elements represent the club's history, including the neck tag. It is inscribed with IMPACT, which is a reference to the club's former name, and to be honest, I think Montreal Impact was a much better name than the one they've got currently. It's a bland shirt, but has some nice design elements that give it a few points. And then moving to 19th place and Chicago Fire. Chicago Fire have returned to a red home shirt with their return to red kit. After 4 years of navy home shirts and failed rebrands, Chicago Fire have returned to the iconic red shirts. This one in particular is inspired by their 2000 home shirt. Great year, as that's the one I entered the earth. And really, I'm just happy to see Chicago Fire return to their red roots. But I don't think this shirt is that good. Yes, it is a reference to a classic design brought into the modern age, but I think designs like that do need a bit of tweaking to work better on the modern shirt design. Modern shirts look a lot different to how they used to. They're a lot more form-fitting now. A little alteration to the design could have saved the shirt and made it look a lot better. The colours used do match, but the kit is just too plain for me, and I'm not a fan of that sponsor either. A few more tweaks could be a banging shirt, but for now, it's only in 19th. And then we move on to Austin FC in 18th place. Austin FC gives us the brilliantly named Armadillo kit. This shirt pays homage to the Armadillo World Headquarters, which was a music venue in Austin that thrived during the 70s. The neck tag of the shirt also features the address of said Armadillo, which unfortunately no longer exists. But it also has a nice armadillo on the jock tag, which I really appreciate. The design is mainly off-white / cream with green sleeves, but other than that unique colour scheme for Austin FC, there's not much else going on really. Nice colours, nice name, but very plain at the end of the day. We can't rank plain shirts highly. I'm sorry guys. And then we're into 17th place and Colorado Rapids. Colorado Rapids have released their One Flag kit, with this wavy checked design. The main design of the shirt is clearly that of a distorted checkered design that adorns the front of the kit. This wave design pattern pays homage to the supporters' flags that can often be seen during a match day. Personally, I think that is a nice thing to base the design of a shirt off of. I think anything that involves the fans has the potential to be a really good design, and I think it does it quite well in my opinion. But the sponsor does mark it down in my eyes, which I'm just not a fan of it. It doesn't tear up any trees, it's an alright shirt, doesn't do anything special, but it's not terrible either. And then we move on to 16th place and Orlando City. Orlando City are another team doing some form of a throwback kit, as they've released their Legacy kit. This shirt is inspired by the Lions' first season and first championship in Orlando, way back in 2011, back when Orlando City were a member of the USL Pro. It modernises the design, giving it a lavender base, which I think is a very nice colour. The main feature though is the retro crest from around 2011 to 2014, which has been modernised for this new season, and I think it looks class. This is the way you update a badge, guys. Other than that though, it is a pretty plain shirt, but the contemporary badge does give it some points. And then we move on to DC United in 15th place. DC United here with their new home shirt, the so-called Icon Kit. Not sure why it's called that, but here we are. The shirt features a unique pattern inspired by the Frederick Douglass Memorial Bridge, which can be seen beside the Audi Field where DC United play their home games. Now, normally I love a shirt design based off of a bridge, especially one that fans travel over to get to the game, but I can't really see how this design is inspired by the bridge. Maybe I'm blind, but I just don't see it. The bridge is further referenced on the neck tag, which actually looks pretty cool. The red and black colour scheme is solid, but the front design just isn't really doing it for me, and the sponsor doesn't look great either. And then moving to 14th place and Vancouver Whitecaps. Yes, Vancouver Whitecaps are doing a lot of heavy lifting for the Canadian sides here with this, the 50 jersey. It's another team with a retro or throwback kit, as this shirt takes an element from their badge from 1974. It is adorned in gold to celebrate the club's 50th anniversary. The rest of the kit is a navy base, creating a lovely colour scheme that gives the shirt a really luxurious look. Other than that though, it is very plain and is being heavily carried by its colour scheme and retro logo. I can't really put it any higher due to the lack of design on the shirt, but it does look very nice. And then in 13th place we've got the San Jose Earthquakes. San Jose Earthquakes are also hopping on the retro shirt trend as they've released their own The 50 kit, celebrating their own 50th anniversary. Once again, it's a very plain shirt, but this is heavily based on their shirt from 1980 when they were representative of the NASL era. It takes their badge from the NASL era with 2 added stars denoting their 2 MLS Cup titles. This shirt also features a drop tag with the club's very first logo used during the inaugural 1974 season, which I think is a lovely touch. There are some lovely embossed patterns on the side panels, which is also a very nice design touch. Other than that, the overall design of the shirt is very plain, and like I said with Vancouver shirt, I just can't put it any higher. But again, it's class. And then we want to 12th place and Seattle Sounders. Oh, wearing one now. Now, Seattle Sounders are normally known for their class football shirts, as can be seen, but I'm not really a fan of this one. This is the anniversary kit, but unlike San Jose and Vancouver, this is not a retro throwback. It's another club that are celebrating their 50th anniversary, but Seattle Sounders have taken a different approach to their fellow 50-year-old clubs. Seattle Sounders have unfortunately adopted their new badge, and the kit isn't much better either. They should have stuck with the badge they were using last season. It is far better. The pinstripes are connected to the NASL kits from the original era, but altered and updated with thicker stripes in blue and green with white accents. I'm not really a fan of the colour scheme. I do recognise that this is the Seattle Sounders colour scheme. It's what they go for, and they've used it in many kits before and it's worked well, but the colours used here aren't really that great. Also, it was announced with a footballer who has an Among Us tattoo. Like, what's going on there? Doesn't mark the shirt down at all. I just thought it was quite funny to see him have an Among Us tattoo on his leg. And then in 11th place, just missing out on the top 10, is the New York Red Bulls. Another club and another legacy kit. This time it's the New York Red Bulls. The shirt is mainly red with diagonal zigzag lines across the front and on the sleeves. This will be replacing last year's yellow kit as the home shirt, with this one becoming the home shirt and the yellow one becoming the away kit. Bit of a weird change around there, but hey man, they can do what they like. The colour scheme harkens back to the New York Metro Star days in which they wore red and black striped shirts. Honestly, New York Metro Stars, brilliant name, and they've had some brilliant shirts in their past. The massive Red Bull logo sponsor isn't great, and I feel it detracts from the overall shirt's design. It is nice to see New York Red Bulls revisiting the red and black colour scheme though, and I hope this is something they continue to do in the future. And then we move on to 10th place, so we've come into the top 10, and we've got Columbus Crew. Columbus Crew have released their home kit. A bit of a confusing name, but bear with me. So in the MLS, they call their home shirts primary shirts. I'm not sure why, but here we are. Anyway, this is their so-called home kit, which is a home shirt. I'm glad they got that one sorted. The overall design is inspired by the bold, angular architecture of the Black and Gold's fortress, the Lower.com Field. What a shit name for a stadium, man. My god. Sponsorship's gone crazy, man. It's like the Select Car Leasing Stadium. What the fuck's up with that? It's been given the goofy name of the home kit as the shirt represents a club and a city at the heart of American soccer, and this is furthered on the neck tag. The shirt also sees a third star added to commemorate their third MLS Cup. It's a decent shirt, but the sponsor does dock it some points from me. And then we went to 9th place and Real Salt Lake. Real Salt Lake have released their Peak Utah kit, and it's giving me Crystal Palace vibes. The Peak Utah kit features a design that represents the Wasatch mountain range that can be seen from Salt Lake City. Get it? Peak. Mountain peak. These guys are brilliant, man. It's a predominantly red shirt with royal blue stripes that is then topped off with a royal blue zigzag design that represents said mountain range. I think that if the badge and crest were centralized, this could have been a much better shirt, but even without that, it's still very solid. The sponsor isn't great either, but again, solid shirt all in all. For some reason I just like it, man. I think it looks cool. I could see Crystal Palace rocking this as well, to be fair. And then we move on to 8th place and Sporting Kansas City. This is the Diamonds Our Forever kit, which, surprise surprise, features diamonds on the design. Groundbreaking stuff, I know. This shirt design pays tribute to the diamond design that first appeared on their kits back in 2013, in which they won the 2013 MLS Cup. That Argyle diamond design has become an iconic look for Sporting KC, which they've continued to develop and push as part of the club's identity. It's a very smart looking shirt in a charcoal blue colour, with the interlocking Argyle diamond design creating a very interesting looking shirt, and a design that's pretty decent. Again, another solid shirt, but just let down in a few areas, namely that sponsor. And then in 7th place we've got St. Louis City. Now, St. Louis City are my MLS team. I watched them last season as they broke records. I'd love to go to St. Louis and watch a game, but unfortunately that shirt's kind of expensive, dog. But anyway, this is the Confluence kit. The shirt has a lovely wavy design that is different on every shirt. This wavy design is inspired by the intersection of the Mississippi and Missouri rivers, as well as the energy of the fans. St. Louis City had a brilliant first season in the MLS as they topped the Western Conference, and this jersey is a celebration of those fans that backed them on their record-breaking season. I'm one of those guys. I wish I could have been there. Big fan of the wave design they've used on the main body of the shirt, with the white and red colour scheme working well too. Creates a very solid shirt. It's not doing enough for me. I'm sorry, St. Louis. I'm sorry. And then we've gone to 6th place and Charlotte FC. Charlotte FC have finally been given their own unique shirt with the so-called Carolina kit, Explore. The design of the shirt is supposed to represent the diverse landscape of the Carolinas from mountains to sea, and it creates quite a nice shirt, to be fair. It's a mainly white shirt that features some line work inspired by topographical maps, with a blue gradient that represents the Blue Ridge Mountains and Atlantic Ocean. Whenever I hear Blue Ridge Mountains, I have to fight everything in my body to not go into country roads. It's a tough fight. It's a very clean shirt design as the black accent colours tied all together. Very solid shirt from the Crown, and is much better than their Arsenal kit they had originally. And then we move on to 5th place and Minnesota United. Yes, the top 5 all very nice looking shirts, and we're kicking it off with Minnesota United's Starry Night kit. No, it's not a reference to Vincent van Gogh, but that would look pretty cool. This is probably the most impressive of the new shirts this season, with these blue galaxy graphics they've opted to use. The blue galaxy graphics represent both colours of Minnesota United, combining their traditional black and sky blue colours to create a very unique shirt design. Now, I will admit, when I first saw this shirt, I did thought it looked a bit cheap, you know, screen printed a galaxy on a black kit. You're not tearing up trees. And for a shirt that can cost upwards of $160, that's not what you want to hear. But I've taken a deeper look at the shirt, and through doing that, some of the cheapness has been dispelled somewhat. It's a very nice shirt and a big improvement over the one they used last season, but again, the Target sponsor really ain't it. And then we move on to 4th place at LAFC. LAFC have gone from banger to banger as they released their Back in Black kit. Now, I'm quite the fan of Amy Winehouse, and I was also quite the fan of the Art Deco kit from last season. And while this doesn't incorporate any Art Deco designs, it still looks brilliant. It's a very sophisticated and luxurious shirt design. A black base with gold pinstripes that adorn the front and the sleeves of the shirt just look wonderful. It's designed to represent the strength, craftsmanship and attention to detail, with shoulder to shoulder adorning the neck tag to really foster that sense of community. It's a very solid shirt that looks very smart. Black and gold is just a cheat code of a colour scheme, and 9 out of 10 times it's going to look good if you're using those colours. Sponsor ain't great though, but that is the case with most of the MLS shirts. It just goes without saying that they're pretty bad. In 3rd place, we've got Inter Miami. Messi FC have released their 2nd pink shirt with their Togetherness kit, and I like it. I was a fan when I saw the leaks, and I'm still a fan of it now. Having seen the official renders and photographs, it's looking good. It's a deeper shade of pink that they're using this time around, and I actually prefer it over last season. I think that was too subdued or too saturated. I think this one, wonderful. A centralized crest is an easy way to my heart, and this shirt has just that. However, I do feel that the Inter Miami crest is just too low on the shirt. If they move it up a slight bit, it'd look a lot better. It even has a subtle M design stitched into the fabric, which is quite hard to see, but it's there nonetheless. Other than that though, it is a very plain shirt, but even so, it does look very nice, but it's just not the best of the season. And there are some aspects from previous home shirt that I wish they could have implemented into this one, like the Soundwave design on the cuff. I think that was lovely. They missed a beat not doing that. But hey, still a very solid shirt, and Messi looks good in it. And then we move on to 2nd place and Philadelphia Union. We're back with another throwback kit, and this time it's the Philadelphia Union and their XV kit, or their 15 kit. It's a return to the centre stripe which adorned their shirts up until 2017, as this kit celebrates the club's 15th anniversary. It's a very modern take on the centre stripe, and personally, I'm a fan of it, with the stripe being made up of gold and blue diamonds, which is inspired by the Commodore Barry Bridge. I'm always a fan of when teams try to mix up the traditional stripes, and I think Philadelphia Union have done it well here. It was a tall task to do better than their previous home shirt. That thing was phenomenal, but the Union have managed to do it, so fair play. Much like the Inter Miami shirt though, I do feel like the centralized logo is too low down, and I think if they just moved it up slightly, it would look much better. Still a very nice shirt though, but come on guys, just move that logo up a bit. Would it kill you to do that? Really? And finally, the top spot. If you know your MLS teams, you know who this is, but in the top spot, I've got Portland Timbers. Portland Timbers have dropped the best shirt of the season, and surprise surprise, it's another centralized design with their Nature Unites kit. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but the top 3 are the 3 shirts that had centralized elements this season. Guilty as charged. I'm a big fan of this shirt. The main design of the shirt is the hand-drawn leaf pattern that's inspired by the trees of Oregon. The design occupies the sides of the shirt, leaving the main body of the shirt blank, which frames the crest brilliantly. Again, the main issue is the placement of the crest. It just feels far too low down. That could be seen most with their original sponsor, which they've since parted company with because of some dodgy dealings going on with them. And to be fair, it was a crap sponsor, so they got out of that one pretty well. But yeah, since the sponsor has been removed, the actual placement of the logo doesn't look that bad. It's just when the sponsor's there, they all look too close together. But again, moved up the crest, it'd be even better than it is now. It's a very solid shirt from the Timbers, and that focus on nature that the kit has is just brilliant. It's a class shirt for a pretty solid team, can't lie. So yeah, so those would be my MLS 2024 kit ranking. Honestly, when it comes to kit designs, I am kind of jealous of the MLS because they do have Adidas. Forest also have Adidas, but each team gets a unique shirt design, and I think that is something that is sorely lacking from Europe and the Premier League in general with Adidas. They have so-called elite teams which get unique designs and get all the design energy spent on them, and then other teams just get an afterthought. But it looks like in the MLS, each team is an elite team, and I guess that's down to what, like a league that is all supplied by Adidas, I guess. Now, Adidas shirts for the MLS have been terrible in the past, but recently they've really been on it, producing unique shirts for every team, and yeah, I'm just kind of jealous, really. But yeah, like I said, I'm a big fan of the MLS. I enjoy watching it in the highlights when I can't watch matches because they're at crazy times. St. Louis, they're my team. and I hope they do well again this season. It was heartbreaking the playoffs, but here we are. MLS has very solid shirts. I mean, some weren't great, but generally they've been really good this season. They were last season as well. Anyway, I've been O2GT. Tell me your favourite MLS shirt down in the comments. It doesn't have to be a new one, it could be one from the past. Maybe you like the New York Metro Stars. Who knows? Anyway, hope you have a brilliant day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.